something's allocating so much RAM, I'm running out. I think I might know what it is. Hey Todd, can you hear me now? Right, hopefully Todd will see me in a stack. Okay, Todd, so overall looks really nice. I've already doubled the performance by disabling global illumination, but we can't use their system. It's very clever, but it is dog slow. However, let's come back to that. So overall, as I said, it does look really good. Like, really looks great. Let me pop the quality up on this one a second. Project settings, quality. Blip. Okay, so I have a question for you. So, I don't know if you saw my photo, yeah? When you're working on terrain, fine. Keep the center 4 active, but keep the next ones active because these are all decimated. And retrospectively fixing that's a pain. So, I've turned them on for the moment because it doesn't... things. But, so here's one of the ones you edited. That's fine. And here's the one that we need on because this is this little sorry. So, okay, that's fine. Let me just fix that a sec. So we'll just choose that rock, and then we'll paint that there. So we're just blending the rock. Yeah. So that's cool. Yeah. And we'll just hit Control to save, and we'll just check that out because it looks cool. And the fuck. What the fuck? What the fuck is that, Todd? What the hell? I don't know what to blame there. I'm guessing because the terrain you've already embedded 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. What, did you not see it? Would you like me to do it again? I'll do it again. I just painted rock over the black. And then I hit play. And it goes. Every time. But I think it's because you've already filled up all 16 of your slots. You only get 16. That's your lot. And they're all filled. Oh, fuck off. Yeah. So that's already slightly worrying because you to add one, you need to remove one from somewhere else. Well, okay, then what's the problem? I have just painted rock onto that, and when I hit play, it goes. I could try a different texture, though it's the wrong one. I'll try and blend that in a little bit there. I think the limit's 16. That's my guess. But it's the way it disappears when we run it. There we go. That way round seems to be fine. Okay, so the vegetation system, it's quite good and all, but it's not good enough to warrant the massive performance hit. So I looked at the way it was doing the global illumination, and it's fucking embarrassing. So on my rig, I'm getting 30. and that's after what I was getting 15. Now, you said you've got like 1 billion vegetation, yeah? I would say this is not quite the number that we should be drawing. I'd say we should be drawing at least this many without any problems at all. Like really. Their stuff, I think I've disabled it now because they've got these really stupid ass like bending around the vegetation and stuff that's always going to be expensive as hell. But it looks good. So, oh no, it's all instanced. I can tell you that for nothing, because if you pause it, anything you see now is not instanced. Hit advance 1 frame, blip, there's all the instant stuff. Oh, it's gone, blip. Definitely instance. But yeah, it's not good enough to warrant the frame rate. I don't know why it's, well I do, because it's doing stupid stuff. But so what I've done today, so let me select the 4 terrains that you've twiddled, 2, 3, 4, and we'll disable the vegetation system on those. So what you're going to see now is just my stuff. Well, yeah, well we kind of have to cache that, so that's not really an option. So I have been twiddling with this, so this is my stuff. So these ones are their objects, and they aren't an instance, but these ones are their ones spawned via my code. Rocks need to be disabled because rocks are a gameplay object. So these are their rocks, which incidentally are very nicely done because it's using a triplanar mapping. So that's actually pretty sweet. I like that a lot. But now if I switch their stuff off, which is what I've done, and their stuff even has billboarding and everything. So we switch off their stuff. Now we're just running my stuff. It's still not brilliant, 55 frames per second, but it feels a lot better. You probably can't see though. So I've implemented today mossy rocks as an object. I've implemented random rotation. I've implemented fur 07 with lodding. And the coolest bit, basically don't use their stuff anymore. For vegetation, cool, no problem. Other than that, no. Well, you have, they're there. Anyway, check this shit out. Oh yeah, I need to run it from the menu. Okay, take 2. Vegetation's cool. Everything else, no. So, check this shit out. Hey, look. Fall over, damn you. And this is nearly network synced. It's mostly synced. But yeah, frame rate's only good here because of my Viz blocker. But 35 is okay. Don't talk anymore. Let me show you what we've got because we can tweak it. So if you notice this big ass block here, so if I hit go, see the red lines, they represent where it was too steep to spawn. So here we spawned all the berries on top of there, we spawned all the rocks down in there, we spawned all the trees in this area here, we spawned different type of berries over here, we spawned a different type of trees over here, and then we've got a little forest there, and then we have a little tiny patch there. Does that not give us all we need? So let's say for sake of argument, you want a road through this. Let's just say, if you create a cube, wow, that's a long way. There we go. Should be able to do everything you want already. Oh, that's further away than I thought. Okay, I thought it was quite big. Right, so I've put that there, and I'm going to tag that as no spawn, and hopefully, we should get no trees there. Ta-da! You mean like that? Obviously it'd be invisible. You mean like that? Is that what you want? Why are you so big? There we go. Okay. Okay, that's completely the wrong type of cylinder. That's why. That's the one. Okay, and I haven't actually tried this, by the way, so I'm glad this works. No, well, yeah, but you don't. You're thinking of it the wrong way, yeah? Do not do what I've done here. Do not put down these enormous trigger boxes and just go, yeah, you sort it out. Don't do that. That's a really terrible idea. Like, don't think of it as a blanket. The entire world has to intelligently sort out what to do, because that ain't happening. Very, very much, you'll say, we're having pine trees in this area. Or whatever. So here, see that green box? That's just a grid, and that's things. No, it's not a script, it's just a tag. I can't tell if that works. Oh, it might not be. It might be too tall. Or that might be tall enough. Well, the river doesn't have any collision, which kind of makes that a little bit trickier. But don't... the solution to that, Todd, is not to spackily just cover the entire river and hey, can you please put trees everywhere? So don't do... Like, you won't be having... Why is that not working? Let me just grab a copy of this cube. But so don't think of this as a global system. Think of this as a way of almost CSGing a local system. I'm just going to see if like one works and the other one doesn't. Like maybe capsule colliders don't accept raycasts or something. In which case there's another solution. Huh? What the... Okay, this is working still, right? I haven't just gone mad. See, that works great. And this doesn't. Just okay, what have I done wrong? What have I done wrong? Is it that this box is exact... This box is slightly higher than this? If you want only one or two very sparse trees, well, yes, there is. Well, hold that thought. Hold that thought. Let me just try and work out what's going on here a sec. It might just be that these two need to be actually quite flush to the ground. I don't know. I've not really tried those. I wrote the system, but I didn't have a good reason to use it. But hold that thought. What? Let me just check the spawn. L pause. Yeah, let's just go up one. So we're firing downwards. There we go. So what you can do, you see, is we can have a like that, and then just I mean, essentially any needed behaviors from the other system we can just copy. That worked fine. Well, that one didn't. Am I allowed to cast rays into a capsule collider? Let me just do a quick Google on that in case that's actually not something I'm allowed to do. Unity casting rays into capsule. Actually, having said that, what capsule collider? Where is it? Oh, it is there. I mean, honestly, realistically, I might as well have just done a sphere. And that I'm sure will work. Okay. Take two. Oh, they really should be triggers, but anyway, we'll come to that later. There we go. There we go. Why is it refusing to cast onto that? But the box is fine. Okay, let's just assume for a minute you can't use those for whatever reason. Fine, whatever. The solution is actually quite simple, which is just to arrange your clearing and then to do that. That is close enough to a circle that you will never notice. See? So I'm assuming that's kind of what that covers us for that. There's a little tick box marked only spawn on flat. So if you notice these rocks here, we crank that up so you can really see what's going on. Who cares about performance? Let me just make 5,000 rocks spawn inside there. Please don't ever do that. Okay, so right now, nothing can spawn on a slope if you tick the little box. So that was a massive box, and they're only spawning where it's flat. You can also twiddle rotations. You can just rotate things. You've just gone. I'm explaining. He's gone. What's he doing? I'll wait for him to get back. I will also we'll call these spawn inhibitor, because that's a good name. I'm sure it puts on a different layer as well. Transparent effects, I guess. What do we raycast into? Actually, because you don't need to know if you hit anything other than a terrain tag. Yeah, so it supports both layers and tags. Go me. Go me. Oh, let's not spawn 4,000 rocks. No, Justin, I have been contracted to write a survival game. And this is it. Well, possibly nice. As I said earlier, I've not played any survival games at all. I have no interest in playing survival games either. That's not really my sort of thing. So what I'm doing is I'm writing what I think Rust is like without ever having actually played Rust. If that makes sense. Like, I have a vague idea of what I think Rust is like, but I don't really know. And like, when I wrote FortressCraft, what I wrote was the game that I wish Minecraft was, not the game that Minecraft actually was. So same with this. I'm going to write the game that I would like Rust to be and the game I thought Rust would be. Whether or not it's anything actually like Rust remains to be seen. But that's all a fairly long way off. What I'm actually doing is just writing tech. Lots of tech to support networking, instantiation, performance, also viz culling, spawning, just tons of this sort of thing. Yes, Unity. One of the complaints I hear about many survival games is the performance, and that's something I want to address from the get-go. So Todd committed a bunch of stuff, which is cool, and I have already had to go, right, let's have a look at the performance on that. So I'm already struggling to hit the performance I want, which is almost amusing. It's not, but it's almost amusing. I'm just going to very quickly squidge in a pathway. What's my target? 7? 1 million sales. I don't really understand the question. One of these must look something like a pathway. That'll do. Oh right. Oh God. Yeah. Well, I'd rather 6. I mean, I don't have 1080p anymore, so I'd hope for a lot more than that. And mostly, I just want to avoid the reviews saying that the frame rate's bad. So, I mean, I assume you play FortressCraft. I know you've got the quite cool, I think, auto detail stuff like that. Like, oh, the frame rate's bad. We should start thinking about pulling in the billboard distance for the trees. We should stop rendering so much vegetation. We should stop spawning particles. It's those sort of things. But yeah, probably 64K. No, honestly, 60 frames a second is a bit... Anyway, Todd's going to be doing all this. I'm just basically... Oh my god, that is fucking awful. World's biggest four-leaf clovers. But yeah, I think the auto performance is something that I do very well at. And people have complaints about FortressCraft. That's cool. One complaint I will never agree with is it doesn't run very well, because it does. So as I said, this is running fine. This is running quite nicely now. But if I switch on the vegetation system Todd bought, that looks good. That does look very good. But we're running at 20 frames a second. Now the thing is, Rust or Subsistence or whatever, they've probably bought these packages and just slapped them in. Whereas that to me is just not acceptable, which is a shame because it looks great. That looks really, really, really good. So we kind of have to make it look this good without having it run at this frame rate. It's a little trickier. I'm slightly impressed the rocks spawned there though, but it looks good. The lighting's good too. Oh, those aren't my rocks. Those are their rocks. I was going to say. I really do like how their system looks. Don't get me wrong, it's really good, but I'm not prepared to take 60 frames a second to 20, which is just embarrassing. Like, why is that? Like, what possible reason do they have for that level of performance? Hopefully Todd's back soon so I can explain to him the other thing, and then I can get on with the other thing that we've got. So. I currently haven't hooked up these trees yet because we might not be keeping these ones. Because these new trees, these are particularly nice. I really like those. La 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 did it do. The manned maneuvering unit, if I recall. Oh, right, yeah, put it there. Those placeholders. No. I've had 2 people ask me if this is Minecraft because I had cubes for hands. So I've put cans. Well, I just think it gets a little bit more vague then. Let's just stick with I'm writing a survival game because of reasons. We'll stick with that. If that's good, we'll just stick with that as my whole explanation. Oh, while I wait for Todd, I'm going to put some more Viz blockers in because performance. Performance is more than a little woofy. Is that a real word? Don't think it is. It's just complicated. I mean, I've got quite a lot of control. Conversely, I mean, it's the same thing with the gnome game. Well, like, I'd like to do this, and Todd's like, I'd like to do this, but I have to say no because it would take us 10 years to write it, so we can't do it. And that's unfortunately the harsh reality of a lot of this stuff. It doesn't matter what I want. What is what I can do. I turn on mouse trails cryptic because I run on 1, 2, 3, 4 32-inch screens. I also have the little that. You try finding the mouse quickly. You're just wiggling the mouse, looking across screens, going, "Where is it?" No, I love mouse trails. If you don't have mouse trails on, then I pity you and your tiny, pathetic monitor setup. Oh, Cryptic, you'll be pleased to know I finally spent my insurance money. From breaking my motorbike. Yay! Also, do you have halotone horns on your car? If so, how do they sound? Because I know it's a very standard mod, but I don't think I've seen them, but I don't think I've ever actually heard them. Justin, no, my insurance payout wasn't enough to justify I knew anything. An old toy. Yeah, I've had people tease me about the mouse trails before, but genuinely, honest to God, when I'm on this much screen real estate, there is no better option. What? Are you joking, Cryptic? I high-sided my motorbike at 180 miles an hour. How did you not know that? Wait, did you seriously miss that? I had like 2 months off work. That's why patch 18 was a bit late. My wrist is okay. The only thing I really can't do is like climbing, like climbing up a like a climbing wall or something. I just don't have the strength. It tires very quickly. Other than that, as with all my broken bones, it aches when it rains. Well, Cryptic, I locked up my front wheel of my motorbike at slightly more than 180 miles an hour, and I hit the ground at slightly more than a quarter of the speed of sound, and I skidded for about 350 yards. My bike's like, that was me, and my bike skidded for about 450 yards. How do none of you know this? It wasn't a racetrack, yes, but I always left that detail out while I was explaining to the doctors and the nurses, and one of them actually said that I would have to call the police, and I'm like thinking, the last thing I ever want from a medical professional is saying, "Oh dear, I will have to tell the police," because all that's going to lead to is people lying to you, going, "Oh, I did take these drugs, but I'm not going to tell you because I'm afraid of getting into trouble." The comment I got repeatedly was, "Oh, you must have been wearing gear then." Like, yes, well, obviously, or I would be a pulp. There would be no person left. So yeah, I finally replaced my motorbike, and I've replaced it with exactly the same bike, but this version's got ABS. I'm not very well umbrella dread. I've had a bit of a cold for about a month and a cough, and I'm okay mentally, and I've been working. I was just excuse me. It's just been quite hard to stream because of the I don't know, that may help performance out a little bit. I used to have a first gen 1400 Ninja. Now I have a second gen 1400 Ninja. It's the ABS edition, which was really, really rare because nobody bought them. They massively did not sell because of, should we say, rider prejudice rather than being mean? Because of rider prejudice. So I've been looking for ages for one of these, and I took my car into the garage last week, and they happened to have one in a bike shop opposite my garage. So I was like, oh. And it was the same price as the insurance payout for my last bike. So I was like, oh, well, I'll take that then. So hopefully I'll pick it up on Thursday. Hopefully I'm not too ill to pick it up on Thursday. That would suck. I do like the look of the DFL. I have a special weakness for big, fat rear tyres on motorbikes. Like, properly, yeah. But yeah, I did love my Ninja. I really did. It very, very much sparked joy. And I miss it. And I like my Cruiser, but I couldn't take my Cruiser on a long distance. And you can only really use the Cruiser in really nice weather, which is something that England lacks some of. To be honest, no, 2008. 2008. To be honest, as far as I know, even the first ABS systems were fine. ABS never kicks in badly. It's like when people complain about like weather control modes on bikes, going, "Oh, it cuts all the power." I'm like, yeah, because your wheel's spinning. You've already lost traction. It doesn't kick in randomly in advance on the basis you might be. It's reactive, not predictive. ABS only kicks in after you've locked the wheel up, not before. So this is the thing. I mean, it's more the real thing that gets me is the I'm quicker to react than the computer. I'm like, yeah, but you're not, dude. Like, modern ABS will react within 1,000th of a second. Old ABS would react within 100th of a second. You will react in 1/3 of a second if you're really quick. So, yeah, even the crappiest ABS is not as good as it's still better than the person. The problem is, unfortunately, you see all these videos online of people in the dry comparing ABS stopping distance. There does seem to be still a bit of a incorrect feeling that ABS makes you stop quicker. It doesn't. ABS makes you stop slower, not quicker. The difference is you're still the right way up and you can still steer while braking. That's the important point. It's not stopping distance. The best stopping distance you can get is to lock all the wheels up. That's your shortest stopping distance. Somehow you don't fall off, but in a car, lock all the wheels up. That's your shortest possible stopping distance. But you are literally in a thing. Really? How would they kick in when they didn't need to? ABS reluctor rings are pretty straightforward. It's just like a mouse sensor ring, but ABS kicking in when it doesn't need to just means you've got slightly less braking. It's not the other way around, which would be an absolute nightmare. But how would anyone, genuinely cryptic, how would anyone justify stating the ABS kicked in when it didn't need to? How would you know it didn't need to? You'd have to like run up and down the same bit of road under controlled tests. But yeah, I crashed because the ABS triggered is obviously wrong, and I had to lay it down to avoid a crash. I read a great story. A guy said he did an advanced riding course, and he started off, and he had a rubber cube and in a metal cube, and he chucked them as hard as he could, and the metal cube skitters to 100 feet away and the rubber cube does like 10. He goes, that's why you keep the bike the right way up. Never under any circumstance is the shiny part of your bike grippier than the black one. I seen this recently, Cryptic. Someone on a bike group said, I had to lay it down. And I'm like, well, you'd been better off keeping the bike upright, keeping in a straight line and braking as hard as you can and then hitting it. Like, you hit that car at 40 miles an hour on your side, whereas if you kept it the right way up, you would have hit it at 20 miles an hour. But yeah, anyone who claims they're better than a computer, I have no sympathy at all. Like, genuinely, just shut up. Just stop. No, you're not. I literally had one the other day, and I pointed out to, because he's like, what was he going on about? He's going about stability protection or traction control. I'm like, but you're not better than the computer. You can't react quicker than the computer. You can't. Not unless you're Superman, which you're not. Well, I think you're referring to Honda's, what's it called? It's not KISS. It's the Honda linked braking system. I think it's only Hondas that have that one. Modern ABS all has linked braking, but I mean, generally speaking, if you're braking very, very hard on one and much less hard on the other, you probably do want to. But if you had because what you stated means you would have to have a single reservoir, which is totally not a thing, is it? Like, ABS is where the reluctor ring spots no movement, so it releases pressure in the calipers on the cylinder. Okay, but they're not linked, because you've got two separate calipers. Otherwise, at all points when you brake on one, it brake on the other. But yeah, why would you? I don't understand why you would design it like that. I'm not massively up on early 90s motorbikes, has to be said. I have a 2010 Cruiser. It does not have ABS, but it is literally the bike in the world with the shortest stopping distance, completely randomly. It's very, very low because it's a Cruiser. It's very long because it's a Cruiser. And it happens to be, for a Cruiser, very big, and has tyres on a Cruiser. Happens to be the bike with the shortest stopping distance. Like, yeah, it's not a 125, which I thought would have been. 125's have got smaller tyres and crappier brakes. So yeah, there you go. You've all learned something today. Oh, so that's dumb. I guess that was just to save money. To be fair, if one wheel is locking up, it's probably safe to let off the braking on the other wheel as well. Your worst case scenario is probably not too bad, because you're braking hard, so your rear wheel locks up, so you let off a bit on the front. But if your rear wheel's locking up, unless you're going downhill, it would be safe to say it's quite likely your front wheel is very close to locking up. But yeah, I think it's only Honda that did that one. I'm gonna have to look at it. They've got a name for it. Honda linked brakes. That was their thing. Yeah, CBS. That's it. But that was their thing. Was CBS. No, hold on. They call it. Never know. Honda system. I don't like the Honda. Oh, CABS. I don't remember when they did it. Like it was, but they were the pioneers of linked brakes. Yeah, unfortunately, Cryptic, I have to disagree with you. Modern ABS systems are amazing, but only on the ZX10 and nothing else. There's essentially two major types of ABS. There's the ABS that I've got, or will get, which is when you brake hard, the bike wants to go in a straight line. And then there's the very modern, very expensive, almost unused. It's on the KTM Dukes, the ZX10R, and almost nothing else. And it's a proper full gyroscopic 6-axis one that won't... Oh, and I think the BMW 1000RR's got it as well. But that allows you to brake whilst going around a corner and still maintain going around a corner. To be fair, if you're going around a blind corner so fast you can't brake for something there, then you've already fucked up an ABS. It's not going to save you. Anyway, I'm looking forward to the summer. I've got a quote on my bike. Hopefully my current insurer will beat it. There's only one thing wrong with it. It's the wrong colour. Sadly. Yeah, so Honda first did it in 1983 on their Goldwing. They called it unified braking. And that's their thing. They make a big song and dance about it. But yes, I will. I'll have to look at getting it resprayed. Well, resprayed or wrapped or plasti dipped. And I've already found someone online that will sell me the entire fairing kit for 300 quid. So any quote I get has to be competitive to that. But, I mean, correct, I assume not all ABS were like that. I assume that was just one manufacturer's thing. Damn it, Todd, get back here so I can... Okay, let's make a build. Oh, I remember, I made a build and it crashed. Let's get rid of all the distant terrain. But only the distant stuff. So yeah, we need to make sure we don't do what Todd was trying to do. I need to make sure he doesn't do it. We can't work with the detail turned down because there's no way I'm going to be able to save it at the end. Performance is going to be an ongoing issue in this game all the way through. Oh, was it like an early, Bosch one? As I said, right now, as far as I know, the only people who make ABS systems are Bosch. Manufacturers just buy them. I mean, everyone uses big show-off forks and all that. It's just literally off-the-shelf components. Alright. That may help. See, unfortunately, we can't use the new terrain system yet. Oh, come on. I suspect, Cryptic, you would have designed it back then like that because doing it the other way would have been far too hard or expensive. A lot of it is it's hard to look back 30, 40 years and go, why would you do it like that? Why don't you just use these? I mean, maybe the actuators back then were so expensive it simply wasn't feasible. Maybe carrying two of them would have required far too much. You know, there are a bunch of reasons that I can imagine. But it's one of those that you say, looking back, he's like, you did what? I mean, look at World War One airplanes. Like, you made the frame out of balsa wood. You made your aeroplane out of balsa wood. Sorry, can we just go back over what you're making your airplanes out of? Because I'm sure there are lots of better things to make it from than balsa wood. Okay, so the issue right now is when the server does its thing. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, it's worth watching. If ever you have any doubt, it's worth watching some ABS test videos online. It's the best ones are where they tell them to panic brake. And they usually have outriggers, and all the comments are like, "Oh yes, but if he didn't panic brake, like if he didn't panic brake, have you ever been in a genuine emergency? You're following a truck, and it blows up in a hail of gasoline and fire in front of you. You're quite likely to snatch at the front brake, no matter how disciplined you are. That's the point. Is ABS saves you when you panic. Under normal braking circumstances, no." But the other one are where the riders don't have the outriggers and they're in the wet. And my God, like experienced riders, they're desperately like gently feathering the controls. Because if you lock up the front wheel, you'll be on the ground a third of a second later. And there was one, and these were 3 professional riders, all like a MotoGP guy and a touring car, and one of the guys panicked. They're doing 100 miles an hour in absolute sodden weather on a racetrack, and he panicked and pulled the clutch in for half a second. Then he pulled the brake in when he realized he yanked the wrong thing. And there we were looking at, in the ABS, it was like 30 meters shorter stopping distance. So yeah, ABS for the win. I actually had someone argue with me that ABS on cars, and it was just like, sorry, what, dude? Like, what was he was going on about? When you lock up some of the wheels on a racetrack, the ABS will kick in, but then when they re-grip, the car can be sent off in a different direction. And I'm just like, I'm not even having this conversation with you because apparently you've never done physics ever before. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, that's the only thing I don't like about my Impreza is it's got no ABS. And it's all right in the dry, but braking in the wet is a scary problem. I mean, you can just feel it. I mean, I've locked it up before. I mean, the car just starts to spin sideways in whatever direction it wants to. It's not fun in the slightest. It's scary. Well, the reason is that that's a European regulation. You can't get stuff without ABS now. But yeah, I like the Groms. Are you getting it in Iron Man gold and red? Yeah. Please tell me you're getting the Iron Man colours. I really like the Groms. I've no reason to buy one. They're ever so cheap, ever so cool looking. Like, I know people who've got them and they just kind of stopped riding their other bikes for any sort of short distance because they love it. No, ABS kicks in when the wheels stop spinning, but then he's like, but then when you regain grip, it can send the car off, and I'm like, I'm just not having this conversation with you because I spent the last 20 years of my life dealing with physics simulations of vehicles, whereas you apparently read something on piston heads, and I'm just not having this discussion because you don't understand physics, and I'm not going to start by explaining physics to you. Server, treated harvest message. Cut down. Harvest must receive true. So that's the server's message. And that message is not going to the client. Okay, so that might be... Well, it's going to be my fault somewhere. What? Wrong editor. Well, the thing is, Shalka, as long as that person was willing to stop thinking they knew anything, I could probably have explained it. Like, it's just like, that's just... Like, when a wheel is not spinning, it just applies a force along the inverse of the direction. It has no different forces in different directions. This is bad. Like, this is very bad. You definitely want the wheels to be applying force along the reverse of the rotation vector. Hey, welcome back, Todd. Right, you asked me a question. I will answer. You said, how can I spawn just a couple of trees? How many trees would you like to spawn, Todd? Explain to me. Use small words because I have a small brain. What you want, I will make sure the system can do it. In the waterfall area. Okay. What? Yeah, now you do need to remember trees are a network entity, but sure. So you want to spawn a tree there. And inspector. I mean, you still need to use a spawner, which is fine. Hopefully that's flat enough. And I will spawn but one tree, and I will allow it to spawn whether or not it's flat. I will now cross fingers. Ta-da! That work for you? Or you can say, only spawn 5 trees. I doubt it will fit 5 in the gap, though. 2, yeah. Yeah, so in the spawner, you can specify the maximum number of spawns. I'll leave that as 1. I'll also... I can't remember. Let me just run the game up a sec. Can't remember if I've actually disabled it. I have, good. Right, so this is just our stuff now. Genuinely, my game goes from 60 frames a second to 20 with their stuff on. I don't understand why it's so slow. There already is that already exists. You can't. They won't spawn inside each other, as you can see here. I mean, no, they might be. Yeah, you might get unlucky, but that's a question of twiddling the spawns. So we've now got a pathway down here. Ba-da-bam. Walking through the trees, walking through the trees. There are two types of trees, but one of which is harvestable, one of which isn't. You need to be careful of the exploration preview because it tends to fall through the landscape. And this was the one where you asked about a campfire clearing. Now you need to remember, by the way, you can chop all these trees down. And there's your clearing and the exit. Oh, I can't. I'm not the editor. Dirt. Yeah. So what I did there, is I did that. So you've got a pathway through. Well, you say that. I've done a bit of googling, and it appears there ain't much I can do. That's just what happens sometimes. Yeah. So I just put those there like that, and that boils down in the final as. Is that? Oh, right. I assume that works for you. But yeah, don't use their system for rocks. Don't use their system for trees. But do feel free to use their system for bushes, like things. Wait, what do you mean? Does it? What setting is that? Like the character control, because I had a look, so I assumed there was a thickness option on the terrain, but there isn't, which confused me slightly. Oh, yeah, there is. I'll take it back. I'll take it back. Let me try that one. mterrain dot great thickness no Unity terrain thickness script. I don't really want to set it on all of them. Oh, terrain data. Okay, dot data dot thickness equals, we'll say 5 and see what happens. So I have a script on every terrain so we can control all the terrains, whatever. And it also means I can add in some extra. That's 5. I wonder what that is. The thickness of the terrain. This lets the physics engine know how thick the terrain is when used with a terrain collider. Any other colliders which are no less than thickness units under the terrain will be considered to collide with the terrain and will be moved above the terrain. That's utter shit, isn't it? Do I want more than 16 texture types? No. It doesn't. I thought the terrain engine only supports 16. Yeah, but you can't thicken the player's collider. So the terrain is just infinite. It's a skin across the landscape. I've just told it it's 5 meters wide, or deep rather. The player, that's not how it works. The player is a capsule, which is gone. Where's the player? I can only tell you why you're wrong. I can't tell you how to fix it, unfortunately. But yeah. Yeah, stick with 16. It's already slow enough. Please don't turn everything off for performance. Performance is something we need to... I can't come in at the end and fix the performance. We're going to have some serious issues as it is. Like, I'm already really struggling to keep the frame rate up. I ain't even started yet. Yeah, so for some reason, I don't know why... That's the thing. But that means that if I put that there, that's within 5 meters of the terrain. So it should pop up. not down. That doesn't make any sense. Let me default this to 5. Mate. Oh, it is. Okay, let me check. Let me say 55. No, that doesn't make any sense. That's not how it should work. Yeah, unfortunately, you're at least, I don't know. So right now on this PC, I'm struggling to hit the right frame rate. 2 secs. Let's run over that a sec. Oh, really? I don't have an FPS. Apart from this one. No, I'll just grab the one off Gnomes a sec. Yeah, see, none of that we've got. We've just got a capsule collider. I think I'm shoving the capsule collider in a bit of a silly way. It also doesn't really happen in the game because right now I think it's FPS count. I'll copy them both across. Right now, the demo character moves really quickly. Really quickly. But yeah, we don't have anything like that. It's just physics. That's the one, FPS counter. Yeah, I haven't decided if we're going to use their character controller or what yet. The character, it's not much. Game manager. Yeah, so the character controller is a way of asking stuff to move. So you can say, hey, character controller, move. Well, the thing is, Todd, forget the character controller for a minute. I'm a physics object. If I can fall through the ground, so can rocks and trees and bushes and those things. That kind of worries me a little bit more, unfortunately. Okay, let me just see how we're actually looking properly. Building. So yeah, hopefully the spawn system that I've written will let you do anything you want. Just a reminder, it only works on boxes and they cannot be rotated. Don't even try. You shouldn't need to, though. Okay, so we're going to go... We've got 2 highest detail and potato. Which are the only 2 details anybody would ever go in, obviously. So now we're running at 120 frames per second. That's correct. Do not try... What on earth? I think they're just too light, those. Yeah. Serena, was that FortressCraft? Because that's kind of what I do with the objects. But yeah, now I'm moving at moving speed rather than about 65 miles an hour. It shouldn't happen. Frame rate's not too bad. It's 100 frames a second. But the problem is 100 frames per second. So, 2 amusing things. One, this is barely hitting my PC because it's all single-threaded nonsense, thanks Unity. Yeah, Cryptic, I know. Patch 25 improves it. Mad Vandal has another fix, so I might push patch 25 out next week. Oh, it's Monday today, isn't it? I've got my meeting on... No, it's Tuesday. Tuesday's pizza day. But yeah, so these high detail rocks in the distance are quite quick. They're blockers, but that really makes it feel big when you're moving forwards, and that's just not getting any bigger. So are we going to more or less keep what you've got then, layout-wise? Oh man, those rocks look really good because they're just so big. They probably don't look quite so good up close though. I changed the ride height and I changed it so I actually have a sort of a runaway explosive sequence. So, oops. Yeah, mostly all I've done, Todd, is I put some spawn boxes in as demonstrations, and I put these rocks in as blockers. They look really good, though. Not being able to just belt towards everything helps. Yeah, but mostly don't fiddle with my area, which is quite small. Like, just don't fiddle with. Don't fiddle with this. This is my test area. Everything else I don't really care. I've just got to what I've done is I've put down spawn boxes to sort of demonstrate. So for example here, you've got this mountain with these curvy edges. So what I've done is I've put it there. So you should be able to see, hopefully, that those bushes only spawn up there. They do spawn a bit further down, but that's just because... But they aren't spawning all the way down the slopes. Rocks are the same thing. I've only got one rock hooked up, but we can obviously hook more up as we go along. Their triplanar stuff is sweet, so we can keep using that. I like that so much, I might even use it elsewhere. It's really a question of performance. So Cryptic, yeah, the thing is, in a lot of games, so this is something I told Todd and he didn't believe me, and then he found out the hard way. So, World of Warcraft, at some point, just stop sprinting everywhere and just walk and take in all the detail. And all the games that Todd and I have done, like Adapt, we've got so many little details. The world is just so detailed everywhere. And then you realise players just sprint from A to B. I'm definitely avoiding a game where you sprint everywhere. You will be allowed to sprint. That's fine. Sprint if you want to. But that will start to take away your energy. You'll be walking. And that's important because if you can sprint everywhere, this map starts to feel quite small. And that's not so good. So this is our early access map, is about that big. So the first release will be that big. Everything will fit in that map. It takes several minutes to walk across. Cool. Yeah, it looks alright too. I mean, obviously be aware right now there's not really any way for the player to walk anywhere, but hey. And we've got a bit of unused space around, and I've just put some vis blockers up just for a nudge of performance. But yeah, the water looks alright. Not perfect, because you've got a situation where you've got two normal maps, and for some reason one of them's going sideways. So one normal map's going that way, one of them's going this way. Overall, yeah. Yeah, well, you've got hunger and you've got energy, so sprinting will take. Sprinting is an emergency button. That's the plan. But yeah, just be aware of stuff like this, Todd. That's cool, but if those are baked into the world, the player can't edit them. So just be aware that the player might try and dig those ones up. Still don't know what we can do about Viz. I'm kind of hoping, I mean, might have to go and bitch on the forums and saying, I can't bake occlusion on this world. I haven't tried leaving it overnight, for instance. Well, that'll do for the minute. If they're not okay, so you can't place editable rocks. That's not possible. The only way editable rocks can be placed into the scene are via a spawner. So this spawner here, is it that one? Yeah. So I've purposely made it smaller, big, but let's make it a bit less stupid. So we'll put it there because it's quicker anyway, and we'll put this down to 512 rocks. So, my point is, if you put rocks in the game, people are going to start hitting them with a pickaxe. It needs to be super obvious and clear, the difference between rocks you can edit, you can dig up, like these, and ones you can't. Because they will just start hitting these with a pickaxe and then bug. I would say, given everything, I think you're better off primarily having all the rocks dig upable, all the little ones, anything smaller than a boulder, make it dig upable, and we'll just put a very heavy requirement in the game on hacking up rocks, so the player has to dig up a lot of rocks. That's probably the easiest solution. Well, I mean, there's no button. I mean, you just, it'll be like, is there any reason not to have those rocks just as ones that you can dig up? There's no advantage to doing that I can think of. What I'm suggesting is we just have a hell of a lot of rocks and then require the player to dig up a hell of a lot of rocks. And then to say, are you bored of this? Why not try FortressCraft? We've got automation. They can't go to a rock wall and dig, no. But those ones, I would hope... Oh, look, you can see the... I need to rebake. Those ones, I would hope, are very obvious. I mean, anything smaller than a human should probably be dig-upable. Size, definitely. Like, these aren't, but these are. Yeah, I mean, I really like the triplanar mapping, so we can... Pardon? Okay. I really like the triplanar mapping, but those ones are mossy. Okay, there we go. But I mean, for the moment, really anything that's... Oh, where are my rocks? Oh, they are. Oh, they're occluded out. Of course they were. Like, mostly, if you need more added into the spawning system, let me know. But I have to hook up everything, which is a bit of a pain. I'm just trying to... I've got to get one thing working, by the way, and then we can actually have a brief test. And that thing is if a server digs up a tree, then the client does not get the event called. That's a suggestion. Put a picture of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's face on the rocks that are not harvestable, I assume. That's it's an idea. Oh, I'll give you a full 10 for it being an idea. I'm not sure it's a good idea. Oh, pushcar. As if I do as an overlay, what is that? Let me try that, see if that's the solution. It is definitely an idea that scores somewhere between 0 and 10. Yeah, I completely agree. I'm going to close Unity because potato 720p. Potato. Well, I've no idea what that was about. Get back there now. Hello. Oh, God damn it. think I have a guess about why this is happening. And, excuse me. Damn, I'm hungry, I've just realised. And my guess is, I'm afraid it is a bit of a guess. My guess is that I'm deleting the bolt entity and that's arriving first. So I should be getting a message, blah, 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 harvest message. Because trees, no, not trees, the other ones don't. So it might be that what happens is the server needs to destroy this a second later. That might be fine. Yes, tree does server message true true, tree cut down message received true true, but we don't seem to get that anywhere else. So what I'll do is I'll destroy game object comma 5. This allows the above code to ripple out before just a guess though. Yes, I'm using Bolt. So I investigated Unet for the Battle Royale game, and it was just nightmarish. However, I'm using Bolt, Photon Bolt, and it's really good. I'm really been happy with it so far, all apart from the fact it doesn't support rigid bodies, rather weirdly. Okay. But yeah, Todd, I had 2 people ask me if this was a Minecraft style game purely based on the arms, hence why you've now got cans of beans for arms. Don't think they were being funny either. Okay, so chopping down the tree, oh, I'm chopping down the tree. Come on. Yes, I was right. And then 5 seconds later, the network object will get destroyed. Well, Sir Ronan, hopefully that makes it obvious enough for people. Okay, cool. That's that. Right, so I'm currently pushing a build up on the internet, and then Todd and I are going to play it for a very brief bit. So I'm currently uploading to Steam. So while that happens, I'm going to go grab some food. So I'll be a couple of minutes, and then Todd and I are going to, I will say play it network, we're just going to make it work. All right, back in a minute. Oh, it's still uploading. Wow. Faster, come on. $20. No, the upload speed will be limited by it's Valve, not me. What am I getting? Uh, 16 megabit. To be fair, that's about all my internet. Because don't forget, I am streaming at the same time. And as we all know, too high bitrate streams tend to not get you all performance. I don't know why it's such a big change though, but hey. This one. Ba-bum, ba-ba, ba-bum. Still uploading. Yeah. Cool. Uploaded. It's pizza. It's mod pizza for me tonight. Todd, my sweetums. Are you there? I hope you are there. Can we give this a test? And at some point we should probably test it with, you know, more people. There's only two situations. 3. 1 player, 2 player, more than 2 player. If it works for 2 player, it'll work with 200. Let's assume Todd's. I'm hoping tomorrow to get the first build of FortressCraft Phoenix on the internet. We'll see. We change the logos and stuff. I haven't given up on it. Our focus has changed. We phrase it like that. I mean, I'm doing this instead of that for a number of reasons. What is Dungeon Defenders updating for? I think it's hard to say anything is better or worse. Better is a very vague term. One of the major issues with the drone game was that if it got popular, I would have struggled to deal with the griefers and the hackers. It's something that even people with huge amounts of money struggle with. It's very unlikely I would have been able to do so. This, on the other hand, is a lot closer to my area of expertise. So more successful, yes. It's safe to say that even crap survival games tend to do fairly well if they have the required marketing. And I don't write crap games. I might write games not everybody agrees with. I might write games with some rough edges, and I might run games at the wrong detail quality. But yeah, I believe this will be more successful. I mean, it doesn't always, but even this does have some moments where it looks really good. Oh man, I've really messed up the sensitivity. God, I've already done a day-night cycle, look at that. I mean, to be honest, I could already, I'm not going to, but I could already turn this into a survival game. The only thing that's currently missing at this point is the application of the hunger mechanics. I can already dig up bushes. Oh, did I fix? I did fix the tree, yeah. Oh, you're right, Seafy. My kitty cat's looking. What is it? What? Here you go. Alright, I love you when I get pizza. Yeah, it's water. Like, the water ends weirdly, but that's Todd's problem, not mine. I don't know what that's about, though. Mostly I'm concerned about performance right now. Jumping's fine. Jumping's 9.8 meters per second. I can double jump, which is wrong. It sounds like I can fly forever and I don't know why. Then the plant will grow again. Yeah, I mean, jumping's fine. I can't really go wrong on jumping. I don't know how high I jump. About a meter, maybe. It's quite a jump. I did actually make that light animate, and I could have broken it. No, no death. There is hunger, blood, thirst, and energy, but they don't currently do anything if you run out. But you can eat to replenish them. As I said, you don't need to add much to make it a game. But yeah, we can't have the rocks this big. You need to be surrounded by lower ones. Huh? Well, I haven't written it yet. You said is it in? That doesn't mean it's not going to be in. It just means I haven't written it yet. Epic. Everything is placeholder. Literally 100% of everything you see here is placeholder. I mean, I'm not planning on shipping it for about 6 months, so I'm not really worried about the fact you can't die yet. Ugh, stupid spec. So we're talking about ray tracing. We've been talking about this a lot. That's a situation where ray tracing would help. There's a point light behind that mountain, but the specular system doesn't know that. It can't. I can do cryptic, but I'm not going to. There we go. See, that looks alright. It looks much better with that lovely vegetation system on. But yeah, there's a second UV map that's sort of going... Will it have building? That's plan 2, yes. And berries. Oh. Oh. I'm not sure that's quite correct though, eh, Todd? Yeah, well, good. I mean, I'll be working and streaming on this 2 days a week. That's the current plan. No, I'll be streaming it 2 days a week. I may or may not be working on it more than that. mostly at this point, I'm concerned about performance. I'm only getting 100 frames a second, and it is rendering, but fundamentally, I may need to investigate some more advanced techniques. I can show you though, so I go back into the editor a sec. So if I switch on the stuff I've switched off, it looks a lot better, but the performance is not where it needs to be. It should be Wednesdays and Thursdays. So Monday and Tuesday is Gnome Fight. Wednesdays and Thursdays should be this game, and Fridays is FortressCraft 2. But yeah, with all the detail on, it looks absolutely great. I really like how that looks. Right, that's fabulous. With the day-night cycle. But my performance has gone. Yeah, 30 FPS is not what I want. The building take a hit on performance. So EPIC meme. My background is in professional AAA games. I have the dubious distinction of being the person who worked on what is widely regarded as the most optimized game ever made. I will be bringing that to this game. I can be more technical if you like. Oh yeah, well the thing is, that's not my system. So if I turn off their stuff, boink, we get to 120 frames per second. That's because this is all mine. That's really fast. The wind movement is done via a shader, yes. So wind movement's essentially free. Excuse me. Oh wow, that looks nice. Oh, it's proper tilt shift. That's nice too. Okay, that actually looks pretty ideal. So I'm gonna grab I'm gonna grab this asset pack. There are a couple of effects missing from the new Unity Post Pro stuff. Oh, and I'll grab the robots for tomorrow as well. How do I go about optimizing? A lot of the okay, so there are 4 or 5 major ways of optimizing. One of them is to sort of do something faster. Okay, so if you're looping 100 times, if you can work out a way to loop 80 times, sometimes that's kind of a macro level optimization. Sometimes you have micro level optimizations, which is pre-caching a value or kind of knowing and understanding how compilers work and how to massively usually optimize things there. The best optimization that exists, and this is one where people are very bad at, is not doing something. So an example would be the AI system in Race Driver Grid, the audio system. I was allowed a 10% budget, and I couldn't hit it with, oh god, how many cars do we have on track? 16 cars. So what I did is I only updated 1 car per frame. So each car updated every 16 frames, and just worked. Unity? Yeah, you can. There we go. Yeah, I did work on Grid. Yes, I was the audio programmer. I worked on loads of games. Yeah, well, Shauka, you're not far off. The less you draw, the quicker it is. I was explaining to someone the other day, and they were like, is this quicker? I'm like, drawing less is always quicker. Well, why don't you optimize it? And I was like, well, there's no optimization better than not doing it. Drawing 1,000 of a thing is always slower than drawing 999. It can't ever be quicker. It might be the same, but it can't ever be quicker. It's just not how it works. Ooh, pretty sweet. Oh, let's get distracted. That looks rubbish. I have no idea what Docker is. Ooh. That's not a bad AO pass, actually. But it's 2D, so it's occlusion based. That is a nice effect. Well, yeah, I mean, isn't that kind of what the Steam tool does anyway? To be honest, for this game, I will be rewriting the console-based stuff anyway because I need to have dedicated server support. Where's Todd gone, damn it? They look, when it's fast enough to see, it doesn't look so good, but when it's slow, that really adds some nice sort of patchiness. It doesn't match up to any actual clouds. I like that. That's a screen space effect. So that's cheap as chips. That's the problem. That looks really nice in screenshots, but not so good when moving. That looks really nice in screenshots. That's actually one of the more stable painterly effects I've ever seen. That is genuinely a nice effect. That's one of the better ones. There was a big thing about these a few years ago, you say. I really like that. Getting distracted. I like playing with shaders. Not really sure what that's used for. That's actually quite a nice one. It's not perfect though. Really know what that is. I think that one's the main problem, it's a bit low res. I might leave that on because I suspect we're going to want a cold effect anyway. But I'll leave that there but turned off. I haven't even got to the reason I bought this pack yet. Oh, that fog's rather good. I'm not saying much. It's supposed to say that fog effect is actually rather good. Yeah, because that fog does seem to derp up the thingy. I'm a bit confused why that looks broken. Hold on. Yeah, the fog effect, my fog effect, doesn't seem to understand the clouds. So I might need to use their fog effect purely to get the cloud system to work. Yeah, because the cloud shadow is making the fog dimmer. Bear fog is really nice, though. There we go. Oh, fog is cheap. No, fog is very cheap. The thing is, close-up fog looks good. But, yeah, so the reason it looks good is it's fiddling with the sky. Yes, the problem is, what you really want to do is blend the sky so that the fog should blend into the sky, but doesn't, again. But I was hoping that there is a button there marked light scattering. And light scattering should mean like you get a cascade of very bright. That's a nice screen space of that. Excuse me. But yeah, oh wait, hold on. This doesn't seem to do anything at all. Okay, let's skip that for the moment, because that wasn't what I wanted to fiddle with. What I actually wanted was this. Oh yeah. One minute. That's quite nice. I hate to say it, that's probably a little bit OTT. That said, you shouldn't really be looking at the sun anyway. Let's try that and see how it actually goes. That's actually rather good. It's a bit too perfect though, but it's good nonetheless. So Andy, are you actually on stream, by the way? Wow, that's a proper old school Halo one right there. So mostly Andy, how are you looking for stuff on this? We might be actually hiring someone for animations, but there will be a ton of base buildy bits, which are placeholder, and I've started to put your list together on the Trello. Stuff for you, like for instance when I cut down these trees, which I can't because I'm not in the right mode. Oh yeah, I am. No, I'm not moving too quickly. So yeah, there's just going to be lots of stuff. I don't think they're anything complicated. Most of the stuff in this game is going to be fairly generic, thankfully. That is rather nice, isn't it? I'm not really expecting a large amount from you for this. Nothing complicated. I think I can phrase this nicely. Nothing creative. You know, like a cool gun or special armor. It'll mostly be a base, which I'll placeholder up the bits on that anyway. Yes, I mean with the trees, obviously for each tree, I need you to cut off the top and cut off the bottom, and then we need a plank version, like a plank version of each. Though you'll probably need to create a second mesh, a second material for those, annoyingly, because obviously we won't actually have any ability to We don't have the material, like obviously the end of the tree, cutting it off. I mean, if it's not in the right format, we should be able to export it from things. But it'd be quite nice if you could do that before next week, because then I can actually finalize one of these trees. So I basically just need you to cut off the tree at about there, and then to give me the root as one object, and then cut the branches off as a second object, and then have it cut into thirds for the actual bits of it. So it's not too much. My main concern about this game is really the animations, because we don't have that. I just don't. Oh, Hazard Waluigi. How's your download speed, by the way? Yeah. Yeah, I have a funny thing. We might end up hiring some of the animations, and the people, like, we'll placeholder them initially. I suspect that's going to... I suspect that's not going to fly for too long. Let me update... let me commit and update that a sec, because that should be quite small. That really does add a lot. There should be a small update. Well, give us a sec. I'm just going to push another update up. It'll only be a very small one, though. Huh? Come on, faster. So yeah, I'll placeholder stuff, Andy. There shouldn't be that much. I'll be 2 days a week on this. I'll be streaming this 2 days a week. Uploading. Oh, come on! Oh, wow, I shouted that and it did it. Okay, Andy, if you do a cache verify or restart Steam, this should be a... Wait, what? This might be quite a big download. I know, but just tell me how big the download is, because I think Steam is lying to me. I hope Steam is lying to me. Really? Mine, I haven't even started it yet. I wouldn't... Oh, no connection. Fair enough. Steam said it's going to be 760 megs, and I'm like, I don't believe you, Steam. And it did turn out to be lying. Oh, good. Production line's got a patch. Could I care about anything any less? No. I can't stand production line. It took me about 5 hours to realise it wasn't any fun. Like, well, it took me 5 hours to achieve anything. No! No! I complain about how bad it is. Don't run it. Although, I have to give it a 10 out of 10. That is brilliant. I find the game far too boringly difficult. That's a great idea. I love that. I even more love the fact it's literally the Unity default UI he's using. Okay, Andy, if you run the game, select highest or potato and click on the bottom half of the screen where it says start client, and let's see let's see what's what. That's not a good start. Oh no, what the Okay, I need to restart because that is... I think that was just bad luck. If you have clicked on client, please close it and then re-click on client again now. I'll fix that. I don't know why you said IK stuff. Nothing to do with IK, that's just too physical. Oh my god! Could I spawn any further away? Yes, I could. Anyway. Run it, Andy. Click on client. Cross fingers. Oh, someone's connected. Well, if you think you're in, chop down a tree. Yeah, that's quite spooky. Cuddle the tree. I love you, tree. You've got to hold it for 5 seconds. Your arms have to wiggle for 5 seconds. Hey! See, the hard part's the physics. The networking. That's quite cool the way you watch the tree fall down, though. With a bit of luck, I should be able to knock it on top of you. No, I failed. God damn it. Also, and if you come over here, you should be able to dig up a berry as well, which replenishes your health, which I'm not bothering to show because it doesn't matter anything at all. I say that's all, but that has taken quite a while to achieve. So you should be able to pick up. You should be able to dig up a berry. I'll get this one. Yay! That's pretty much it. So Todd's working his way through making the level look good and kind of blocking out, so it's got everything in it. Oh, do you think you'd be able to pick it even when it's not harvestable? Oh well, can't know everything. And that's where we're at. Ironically, I didn't put... I've got some, like, quote-unquote AAA hands, but I didn't put them in because I won't get them quite right, and I didn't want people to think that's how it would look. So I left it with Minecraft hands, and people ask me, is this like a new Minecraft? I can't win. But yeah, there's a whole level to explore. That new lighting effect is nice as well. So that's a brand new, somewhat more state-of-the-art, non-volumetric light sun shafts. And the advantage is that I think it runs in 16-bit, not 8 bits. There's no banding on it. No, there's no creepers now. So any questions, Andy, really? Or is that everything you need to know? The area you currently have access to is the size of area we're planning to ship to early access. So we're not going to try and do the whole game. We're not going to try and do the whole map. We're just going to do one area really well. And then progress. I think I've done quite a good job on the lighting in it. This one will be EA, yes. Or I don't release it for like 18 months. But yeah, the plan is to release it into EA in approximately 6 months. And then to be in EA for about a year. Then I have to write up that, why do we want to be in EA? And it's like, so I get money now, not later. The end. Stupid question. I don't know where Andy's gone. Maybe he's just chopping down all the trees. One of the things I'll be tackling next week, so hopefully Todd will have a day or 3 over the next week to look at setting up the spawn areas and making everything look good. After that, Todd, I will be looking at serializing, and at that point, anything within a spawn segment gets saved, whether it's alive or dead, whether it's still there, whether it's not there. Well, it's not going to be like Minecraft or Satisfactory. It's going to be like Rust, but I need to keep pointing out I've never played Rust. So imagine a Rust clone written by someone who doesn't know what Rust is. That's what you're going to get. Any questions, Andy, or you're just happy chopping down trees? That's quite funny. That's really cool, actually. Just seeing the. You should be able to jump into the tree to knock it the way you want to, if you want to knock it away from you. I'm not sure if that entirely works for clients, but definitely works for servers. I can like, no. Zebra, I will say it again. It's a Rust clone written by someone who doesn't know what Rust is. So Andy, this is all you need in the game, just infinite amounts of trees to lock down. Performance goes up as you cut down the trees, of course. Schalke, we're not building the level in Unity. We are building the level in a series of serializable setups. Oh, and he's going to get the last tree. I was going to shut the server down, but he's having fun. Bless him. I'm not sure if you can push the objects around quite like I can. Ah! Oh, well, now you really have... It broke. In what sense broke? Oh. Really? Oh, well, can you take the log file, Andy? Which now lives in... Send the log file, please. Yeah, so I'll stop that there. What time is it? It's coming at 6 o'clock. I should probably. I don't want to get more ill. Just less. But like, any questions, or does that all seem fairly straightforward for you? Cool. I mean, we're probably not looking till 3/4 of the way through March until I even think about base building. Like, genuinely that far away. Well, I've closed the server. There's loads and loads of trees. But I've closed the server for the moment. Just gonna look at your error. tree behavior. Well, we'll probably not like hem people in. I mean, if you look, it's probably possible to find a way out. All we're probably going to do is just put in a bunch of bouncers or boxes or whatever. What I'm going to try just doing briefly, because it really does look better. Maybe turn on the vegetation. Boink. But it's already kind of fun. I mean, if we had little choppy axes and sound effects, it's already kind of getting there. Yeah, I really suspect I'm going to need to look at a billboarding system. Because that's totally what I want to do. I'm trying to work out. Oh, yeah, you can't see. I've got a very big, complicated dialogue up here. I'm trying to work out how to turn off. Because vegetation, I kind of want up for. I'd like to use their tree system. I just don't think we can, unfortunately, because I can't spawn their stuff. So what are plants? Because we've got plants and we've got grass. Want to turn off. Wait, what are these if they're not trees then? Oh. Wait, that said global. It lied. Wait, hold on. Oh my god, so that's... Oh, it's, object 0, tree 0. I didn't realise it was quite this dumb. Like, if I tweak it, it just recreates it all. Now, the way I would have done it, instead of clipping it off at 200, I would have... Oh, they've kind of faded it. See how the frame rate actually is in reality on that. Wow, can't even draw that. To be honest, we probably won't really let the player see that far anyway. But the frame rate's a whopping 30. Like, I really like their vegetation system. It's just not very, very fast. Hello, Paul Malaco. But yeah, we'll probably have to do the block rocks like this because the big ones just don't. I'm still blocking out the major detail, and then the little bits and bobs will come later on. Not even blocking out major detail, just sort of putting stuff in, just so I can get a bit of a feel for performance as it all goes on. Because what Todd did looks great. I really like it, but the performance is just shockingly bad, so it's no good at all. Well, yeah, I've got more variety in the rocks, but it's just fine. I mean, you can't really tell. I mean, surprisingly, you can't really tell. Yeah, to a large degree, though, I'm just going to... Again, these are just placeholder things. I just want to make this just slightly easier for me to sort of get around, as I'm struggling a wee bit. But genuinely, I think I've kind of got slopes sussed. It's still shit, but I've kind of got the ability to do it now. But yeah, I honestly hope because they are looking at the terrain tools recently. I'm really hoping they add in a smear. That's what I want, is a smear. But after a while, the smooth sort of goes, nah, that's smooth enough. It's not. Yeah, these rocks almost entirely only exist to block Viz. So the idea is that trees and all of those things, they're just there for fluff. And the terrain is currently just there for fluff. But the trick is to block Viz without looking like you're blocking Viz. And that's the hard part. Warcraft did an astounding job of blocking Viz, but it weren't subtle about it. Once you knew what you were looking for, it was really obvious when they started to put Viz blockers in. To me. Hopefully you didn't notice. But stuff like that now blocks off that entire forest, and that helps a lot. Oh, I feel so rubbish. Overall, though, I've achieved everything I wanted to achieve today, so that's good. But anyway, Todd will be dealing with the landscape. That looks good. I do like the new sun shafts. Happy with those. Oops. Huh? Other than that, excuse me, let me bake another occlusion. Oh, there we go. Okay, so that's that baked. So that is a good effect. I like that. I like it. It might be a bit bright, but I like it nonetheless. I don't think there's anything else I wanted to get done. So tomorrow is FortressCraft 2. I will be focusing on making it playable. That mostly includes the intro sequence, performance, removing the old intro sequence, kind of placeholding up the new one. I've also been having some thoughts about ways to ensure that surface mobs are possible, and I've had some interesting thoughts on that. I think what else there is. Yeah, I'm just making sure I haven't forgotten anything. I think I've achieved everything I want to, which is that you can now chop up logs and the physics are synchronized. I'll be back on this next Wednesday. Tomorrow's FortressCraft 2. I'm probably going to go and stop now because I don't want to. I want to start being less ill, not more ill. And yeah, thank you for watching, guys. And I will see you soon. Yeah. Bye.